All right.
So lonely, so sadly impossibly alone. There's no Rachel here beside me. I'm sitting by myself on my throne.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the CP to the Second Degree podcast.
Hello.
I'm one of your hosts, Clayton Presson, joined as always and forever by my C3P bro, Corbin Presson.
Oh my.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. Today has been a little bit of a struggle bus as far as energy levels are concerned. I opened this morning and I was excuse me, obviously I came down here.
Right.
Went around, prestige some gyms on Pokemon Go, all of which I fell asleep every time I tried to prestige one. About mid-battle.
They were also ripped back from our fingers mere hours later.
Level 6 gym.
Level 7.
Oh, you're right. Level 7.
The Civil War Museum was a level 7 gym. Prestige almost level 8. Someone could have easily come behind us and made it a level 8 real quick and added another one.
Gone for a few hours, and it's taken.
All of them. The entire town was blue when we were driving around. I guarantee you they're all taken back now.
You'll enjoy it more when we go to St. Louis, where the turnover's not so high.
It's rough being here in this small town. There's only 4 gyms, and the turnover is ridiculous.
Daily, right?
Mm-hmm. I actually lucked out. I held one just long enough to get the daily rewards a couple days ago, and then I held the 2 that I had that we tried to prestige earlier this morning, so I got the bonus from that. But man, oh man.
Yeah.
At this rate, I don't know how high we could prestige it. I don't think it'll matter.
Probably not. There is an art to prestiging gyms, though, but we'll get into that later. The people need to understand.
Mm-hmm.
There's a right way and a wrong way to do that. It also helps if you have, a group of people doing it at the same time. It's one thing for you definitely. And I to sit there and, grind out the prestige. If we had 4 more people with us and then we were all doing it at the same time, boop, 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 it would go up a lot faster.
What
about you? How was your day?
It's pretty good. Didn't really do a whole lot. Just watched the children.
Yeah. So. Oh, one thing I started this weekend was Stranger Things on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It is a must-watch. Hooked me from the first 10 minutes. The tone and everything is just spot on. A throwback to the 80s era films of Steven Spielberg and kind of like Super 8 with a flair of Stephen King. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I blasted through both series of Magi, the anime.
I think I'm familiar with that one.
It's basically telling the story of Aladdin, Alibaba, Sinbad in a different way.
Oh.
Don't waste your time.
Gotcha.
I got far enough in it that I felt like I had to finish. It's not worth it.
No. Something to look forward to is this Saturday is the St. Louis gathering for Pokemon Go. It's being hosted by the St. Louis Zoo / Forest Park. There's going to be food trucks arriving. Starts at 2 p.m.
Goes till 6.
It goes till 6. Be at Art Hill and stuff. Should be a pretty good turnout. Should be good food, good time. Probably vlog that one, I imagine.
It'll probably be more of an actual vlog. Our last 2 Pokemon Go videos were kind of like a combination of a vlog, let's play, comedy kind of situation. This one, if it ends up being pretty big, it may actually end up just being us kind of like,
this is happening.
Yeah, this is happening. Watch it.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Well, if you didn't know already, this is the CP to the Second Degree podcast. We post a new episode every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
CST.
As you may have heard already in the last 35 seconds, we've also started doing vlogs. Mostly, when I say mostly, I mean all so far. Pokemon Go related.
Yes.
So watch out for at least one Pokemon Go vlog adventure a week. We'll also be expanding into other normal vlog adventures so that you can get the full effect of the Presson Brothers and all the fun and adventure-y things that we do.
Yes.
Be sure to follow us on Podbean, subscribe on iTunes and YouTube. Be sure to leave us a review on iTunes, and feel free to comment on the YouTubes.
Which we say every week, but they seem to be pretty receptive.
I actually need to look and see.
Yeah, if anything.
Actually,
new.
while you start your news and rumors, I will check to see.
Do you also want to check iTunes on the off chance
That's what I was gonna
someone?
do. I get emails about the YouTube. We don't have anything new to report there, but
okay.
I'll check the iTunes. It's been a long time since I checked the iTunes, so maybe there's one waiting for us.
I will say that the first bit of info on my news and rumors is going to grab your attention. So while you are trying to find something on iTunes, you're not going to want to on this one.
Well, then let's go ahead and crack open the interwebs, grab all the grains of salt, and get into the news and rumors.
First up, Bleeding Cool brings us some pretty juicy rumors about the CW DC TV as we approach the San Diego Comic-Con. What to expect. The rumor mills are churning. Bleeding Cool is one of those sources that always hits the spot. And this is what they're telling me, Clayton. Bleeding Cool says Batman, Batwoman, and Oracle are actively being brought to all CW DC TV shows.
Batman?
Batwoman would head to National City to join Supergirl, and Barbara Gordon would as well, she'll be introduced as the already wheelchair-bound Oracle. So there's already history.
Okay.
The Batman aspect of everything hinges on cooperation from Fox, who currently holds the TV rights, but the CW has offered them the idea of sharing for a fee. So the CW says, we want to use him, we'll pay you.
Oh, okay. Fox should just jump on that.
And so as of right now, what we know is that the deal is being ironed out. So pretty big stuff is coming to DC TV this coming seasons.
Just so you know, if you type in CP in the search bar on the iTunes podcast app, the very first thing on the list, CP to the Second Degree.
So cute. Anyways, so the deal is still being ironed out for Batman, which is very big stuff. John Wesley Shipp, who plays Barry Allen's dad. Spoilers.
Oh, dang. Oh, dang.
Oh, no. Can you bleep that out?
Yeah, I'll bleep it out.
You can bleep it out?
You're going to make my editing process like 5 minutes longer.
Okay.
But I'll bleep it out. You're welcome, Ryan Farmer.
That's exactly who I was thinking of. It looks like that actor who plays Barry Allen's father is being looked at to be a series regular across the board, just like Wentworth and Barrowman did. So in all DC shows, he'll have the ability to show up.
Maybe doubling down on the alternate Earths in all of their properties, maybe?
Right. Now, here comes something. Clayton, hold on to your butts. Are you holding? At least clench them if you're not going to hold them. Are you holding?
Holding my butts.
In addition to John Wesley's ship being courted for this new contract, someone else is being courted for a very similar contract. CW is wanting to work out a deal with Matt Ryan to have a presence as Constantine across all mediums of the CW DC TV. But here's the real kicker. In addition to that deal, DC TV is also thinking about giving him his own show for Friday nights to replace Vampire Diaries.
Oh my. Let's just stop the show right now. We'll see you guys.
I told you
guys next week.
I told you that News and Rumors was opening with something that just could never, ever.
This has been CP to the second degree. You can check us out at blah, 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 blah.
We'll see you.
We'll see you
next time. So that's very, very big things. We have Superman coming to the DC TV.
Mm-hmm.
They are now, sounds like they're going to do whatever it takes to get Batman. So we can almost say we'll have Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And we have what seems to be like a renewed interest in Constantine getting his own show to fill the slot on Friday.
That's good. I knew it.
It's awesome. Nothing else after this is really going to matter. Next, Gotham Season 3 teases Court of Owls and casts the Mad Hatter.
Court of Owls already?
Yeah, they released a teaser image, and it was of a masquerade mask that was of an owl, and it says the court is watching.
Oh, my word. That show.
They're doing everything Batman without Batman. Everything.
Doing it all backwards.
I know. What is Batman gonna have by the time he's Batman?
Why be Batman?
Because the cops are gonna handle it.
Yeah.
Jim Gordon's
got it all under control.
I don't understand. But there are those out there who like the show. If you are listening to us and you love Gotham, give us a great argument as to why it is a good show. Not even great, good. Try to convince Clayton and I to watch it, because we've tried and we can't. It's too disrespectful to the Batman mythos for me to care about. Why should I watch Gotham?
It also just didn't grip me at all. I watched maybe 2 episodes and I was like, it's not for me.
Yeah. Ben Affleck's The Batman is rumored to take place in Arkham Asylum, as Batman is locked inside and must face his rogues gallery.
So, I mean, we already seen that.
Yes.
In video game form. One of the greatest video games ever created. The greatest Batman game ever created. Arkham Asylum.
Yes.
Great story.
Yeah.
Great gameplay.
Uh-huh.
Great game.
Yeah. Great movie.
Good job, Ben Affleck.
Yeah. We'll see. At this point, that's so... you talk about grabbing all the grains of salt. This one is really...
grabbing the grains.
Yeah. Because I just don't... They're so in-depth in this script writing process right now that I do not see how any credible source really got a hold of information of what it's really about right now.
Unless they're releasing stuff on purpose to see
how people respond. Yeah, maybe.
So they can gauge which direction to go.
Yeah. 4th Star Trek is officially greenlit, and Deadline brings us our first glimpse into the plot. Pine's Captain Kirk will cross paths with a man he never had a chance to meet, but whose legacy has haunted him since the day he was born. His father, Chris Hemsworth, who appeared in the 2009 reboot Star Trek, will return to play George Kirk.
He's way too buff to play that role now.
So I think it's safe to assume that Chris Hemsworth, who, like it said, briefly starred in the 2009 reboot, will be returning to what seems to be a more substantial role now that the Aussie actor has created a name for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
He's way too buff.
I'm sure he'll trim down for the role.
He's way too buff. He's so buff now, there's only so much trimming down he can do.
He just won't work out for like a month.
And then just be flabby.
Well, maybe.
I mean, his arms will still be huge. He just won't be toned.
Maybe he'll be like half George, half Klingon.
Oh, dang. Heavens to Megatroy.
Yeah. The Mummy has officially wrapped production. Filming started in April, and this obviously doesn't account for the reshoots. And the movie is also due out June 9th, 2017. So there is that status update on that movie, starring Tom Cruise. Launching pad for the Universal Movieverse.
Yeah.
Helmed by Alex Kurtzman.
That man.
Right?
Yeah. That's all. I mean, that man.
Producer Ivan Reitman confirms that the Tatum Pratt Ghostbusters film was never going to happen. There was a 30-page draft that was written, but apparently it was awful. I don't know if you really remember what I'm bringing up right now, but back when they had announced the all-female-led Ghostbusters reboot, they were also wanting to do a fallback plan in case it bombed and do a Channing Tatum, Chris Pratt Ghostbusters movie that would still be a comedy, but it would be darker and deal with more epically big ghosts.
Yes, I remember that now.
But apparently the EP of Ghostbusters has said that it was never actually going to go anywhere, and apparently the initial draft was terrible.
Surprise, surprise. I do have confirmation of something that we were wondering. You may have found this out already by now, because we haven't talked about Ghostbusters in a while.
Okay.
It is a complete reboot. It does not exist at all in any way, shape, or form in the previous universe.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There's an after credit stinger though that one of the Ghostbusters is listening, like her like machine or whatever talks, and it says, "What is Zool?" Because they want to bring Zool from the first.
They must just be doing it again.
Seriously, even the trailers marketed like it was later.
They just played on the nostalgia.
What?
Mm-hmm.
All you had to do is make one of them like the daughter of Peter Venkman, and I would have been okay with it. In all honesty,
they don't even have to be even related. They could have just taken over
the mantle.
They could have just been inspired by them, and like it's the Ghostbusters. I mean, there's so many ways to properly soft reboot something.
Why have things like Slimer and stuff? Like that's just so dumb.
For just the Easter egg nostalgia factor.
I now have literally no interest in seeing this movie.
Same here. Because I actually had got myself hyped about it because I was like,
Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray are going to be in it.
What if Dan Aykroyd is the bad guy?
We had talked about that. Yeah. How cool would that be?
How cool would that be if... Because we know that... Obviously, we haven't seen the movie, and probably some of you who are listening have. But we know from the previews that there was somebody's making all the ghosts get stirred up.
Right. And
supposedly. We thought, well, if this is really like still in the same universe and a new set of Ghostbusters teams, how cool would it be if one of the old Ghostbuster guys, most likely Dan Aykroyd because he's the only one been thoroughly involved with this, was the bad guy, was the one doing everything?
Because he wanted to, I don't know, have a job again, or just
have a job again,
or just his scientist self. Curiosity got the best of him.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's how you
do it.
Boom. The Presson Brothers should have been consulted on this movie. Because
again, I will charge half.
And we'll do better than whatever you're hiring.
Someday, someone will hear one of these proposals, and I'll get a job. Just pay me half, and I'll tell you it's a bad idea and how to do it for real.
That's all you have to do. Because it's those things that make me accept it, right? Because I don't want the slate washed cleaned.
Exactly. That'd be like, that's the same thing. I cannot wait, and it's not going to happen hopefully in our lifetime because the two creators of Back to the Future have said no. Yeah. As long as we're alive, nobody's redoing these movies.
Or doing a sequel.
But imagine if they ever redid Back to the Future, and it in no way, shape, or form was connected to the original. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Because that, just like Ghostbusters, is such a pillar in our pop culture.
Yeah.
Why completely wipe the slate clean? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
when you could so easily make it mean more and have it be a sweet soft reboot and still be in the same universe.
I'm glad you worded it that way because I think a lot of people sometimes get frustrated at how often Hollywood reboots or remakes of movies, especially sometimes ones that are perceived as like classics. Mm-hmm. And while sometimes I like understand where people are coming from, I sometimes really enjoy the breath of new life. But there are certain movies that it goes beyond classic. It is, like you said, a pillar of pop culture. Mm-hmm. Like you just don't ever touch those movies. It's
Hollywood, man. And everybody's like, it's so good, it's so good. Well, now I literally have no interest in seeing it.
Which means Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray's cameos are literally just that, like passerbyers on the street or something. Like not even like them. Peter Venkman.
Yeah, Stanley.
It's just so dumb.
Anyways.
Netflix scores a unique deal with upcoming Star Trek show and will have the newest episode up and ready to watch the day after airing in the US. Which is a very big thing for Netflix. They have never done this sort of service before.
Correct.
And I'm anxious to see how this carries over, because they just struck that deal with CW, where after the seasons are done airing, they will immediately go on Netflix, much quicker than they have in the past. But the caveat to that was they had to pull their contract with Hulu. What's aggravating about this is that if you were someone who uses these devices and these mediums to stay up with the shows, you would still have to wait to the end of the TV year to watch the CW shows. I'm hoping maybe this Star Trek deal makes them rethink some of their current contracts and say, if we can do it this, we can do it with that. Make us your exclusive 100%.
Yeah.
And you can go up the day after on ours. And that would make Netflix probably blow everything out of the water, because you don't have ads, you don't have commercials.
Yeah. And it definitely adds viewership.
And it honestly would not make me care about the $1 or so raise.
$2.
Because you're getting more of a service from them than what you've been paying for in the past. You're getting more, pay more.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Give me more.
So, where's that? In the comic world of things, Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen will be hooking up soon.
Oh, great.
An amazing Spider-Man series called Renew Your Vows will take place in an alternate timeline where Peter, MJ, and their daughter are together. For those who want to see Peter and MJ together.
Who cares? If Brian Michael Bendis is going to keep destroying the main timeline, why would I read an alternate timeline?
It's almost like they're throwing an olive branch to those who maybe would be called purists, but I call them true Spider-Man fans.
Mm-hmm.
But like here, you can have Spider-Man MJ, but it's not real.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't add up to anything. Thanks a lot.
Brian Michael Bendis.
Bendis.
I want to meet that man.
Just go to San Diego Comic-Con sometime.
I'm gritting my teeth as I say this, because he frustrates me. I want to meet him and ask him face to face what the is wrong with you.
He'll be like, excuse me? We got our first glimpse of Wally West in his Kid Flash garb. And it is
Kid Flash garb.
Perfect. Even to the top of the head being cut off.
So perfect. That show just continues to do it right.
They're sticking with kind of like the tradition they've set with Jay Garrick and stuff, where it's kind of like a reiteration of like what Barry's costume is. Like, it's not spandex, it's kind of like this leather suit and stuff, but it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks really good.
It does.
And it looks good on the actor. I'm very excited by it. I
agree.
I'm anxious to see what happens.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. Very, very excited. The Hellfire show that Fox and Marvel were doing, that has now
canceled, wasn't it?
Been scrapped. And Fox is doing now another mutant-based show. Oh, come on. Where's that? No.
Your Pokedex is failing.
My notes got destroyed. Oh, well. I remember most of it. So Bryan Singer is going to be co-producing this, along with the showrunner of Burn Notice.
I saw the Burn Notice. I had no idea that Bryan Singer was involved.
Bryan Singer is involved in this show, unfortunately. We also know that it's going to follow a family who discovers that 2 of their children are mutants and now have to be on the run from the government. Someone had posted, "Oh great, another family drama generic from Fox," which I was like, that's exactly what it sounds like. There's no confirmation on if these are new characters or if they are comic characters.
Sounds new to me.
But although I was not really excited for a Hellfire show, as far as getting an X-Men fix, I feel like that would have been more satisfying than whatever this is.
Yeah.
Because even the X-Men show that they're doing, Legion, that will air on FX, does not actually take place in the X-Men universe at all. Which is funny because the main character is Charles Xavier's son. So in this show, he's kind of like his own thing. He's a mutant, but it's not really a mutant because he's not in the X-Men universe.
Weird.
Dumb, right?
Yeah.
So that ends News and Rumors, which allows us to segue into a new segment of the show we're calling Pokestop. This is the part of the show where Clayton and I like to talk about Pokemon Go. We're going to talk about tips, strategies, and what to do for overall fun.
Because Pokemon Go is awesome.
And just other topical things. Like we have, I don't know, do you want to talk about this first, or you want to talk about just knickknacks?
We can talk about that first.
So, if you have been playing this game nonstop, and you are seeing those who are level 27, you're like, how in the world did you get there? I am only 19. My wife is 20. Prepare to feel even more like a failure, as now we have a trainer in London who has reached level 30. This is the first player to have reached level 30 that we know of. Let's see. It was on Sunday. Reddit user Very Good, a product manager at a software company in California, shared a screen grab from his Pokemon Go, and it captured the point reaching level 30. Let's see here. We have the full list of things that you got for being level 30. You got 30 Ultra Balls.
Wow.
Important to note, when you reach level 20, you get Ultra Balls now. It's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet.
Gimme.
I'm looking forward to them. Because my Great Balls aren't working on the 127 Pidgeys that keep breaking out and running away.
Yeah, that's very frustrating. You get 20 max potions, 20 max revives, 20 raspberries, 3 incense, 3 lucky eggs, 3 incubators, and 3 lure modules. When you look at the screen grab of this guy's highest level Pokemon, his highest level Pokemon is 2423, 2314, 2274, 2232, 2216, and 2118.
Just to put it in perspective, right now, if you have something that's over 1,000, preferably between the 12 and 15 range, you're looking good.
Yes.
This dude's mid 2000s.
This guy has been playing.
Yeah.
Just also perspective of just experience jump. So from level 29 to 30, you need 350,000 experience points. Now, for this guy to level up to 31, he's going to need 500,000 experience points.
That's crazy.
Also, we now have confirmation that the higher your level, just in general, the harder it is to catch Pokemon. There's kind of a Reddit thread here. One person says, how hard is it for you to catch your regular Pokemon at that level? I heard everything runs away a lot after you reach level 20. And he said, they don't seem to run away very easily anymore, but you can expect to average 4 to 5 Pokeballs per Pokemon from level 26 and up.
See, that to me
is strange.
No, that to me, I'm already tossing 4 or 5 or 6 of these stupid Pidgeys and Rattatas. So that doesn't really bother me.
He also says they are also at a much, much higher level in the wild, though. One person asks, have you powered up any Pokemon, or are you still hoarding Stardust? He says, I've only powered a few of my favorite strongest to keep my gym game strong. Other than that, the base CP I see now is much higher than I ever thought they would be. A few examples to base numbers I see at 30. Eevees are 866, Clefairy is 906, Ponyta is 1122, Rhyhorn is 906, and Charmander is 692.
Just in the wild.
Yeah.
So unless, like, the only reason I use Stardust now, which I actually use probably too much, was to get my 2 top Pokemon, an Exeggutor and a Vaporeon, above 1400 for, as he said, my gym game.
Yeah.
So unless you're doing that, do not use your Stardust.
Right. Someone also asked, so I assume your Pokedex is full? And he said no, still. He's only at 121 of the 151. 3 of which are not even, no, 4, because Ditto's also not in the game. So the 3...
5.
5.
Mewtwo.
Sorry.
Mewtwo, Moltres, Articuno, Zapdos, Ditto. And Mew. That's 6.
But they said the original 150. Mew is the 51. So he's just not in it at all.
When you say the original 150, Mew's usually... Because, I mean, even in Red, Mew's in the game.
Yeah.
You have to glitch it to make it possible to get it, but it's in the game.
Yeah.
So.
He, let's see. They said the first thing that's clear is that even at level 30, there's still a long way to go in the game. There's still no sign of a Master Ball or any of the legendary Pokemon yet. With half a million XP needed to progress from 30 to 31, it's going to take a long time before someone unlocks them. Assuming that's how you unlock those Pokemon.
I don't think Master Ball is going to be in it.
I don't either.
Just because you can't... You would have to break the lore.
Because there's one.
Well, there's one, and whatever you catch with it, like, it doesn't matter what you throw it.
Yeah.
It automatically catches it. So I think Ultra Ball is probably the highest we're going to get.
I agree. A lot of people, I guess, were asking, like, how did you do this in just 2 weeks? And I would say that's probably a really good segue into...
We'll do a quick tip on how to level up, and then we're going to talk about how to properly prestige a gym, because it's frustrating me.
Well, that, but also how to just level up in general.
That's what I just said.
Oh, sorry. I was reading a text. My bad. You have my undivided attention. So, Clayton, tell me, what is the best way to level up as a trainer?
Well, best way to level up is to hoard your Pidgeys, Weedles, Caterpies, and your Rattatas.
Okay.
Then, when you have a crap ton...
And candy. You have to have a stockpile of candy, too.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm getting to it.
Okay.
When you have a crap ton, check your candies. Make sure you have enough to evolve that same crap ton. Pop a lucky egg, and do nothing but evolve for 30 minutes. It's 1,000 XP every time.
Yep. Make use of your resources, trainers.
So I actually wish that we had thought about this before, because we thought, hey, I'll pop a lucky egg at the zoo because we got all sorts of Pokestops, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Don't do that anymore. Or if you haven't done it yet, wait. Don't get rid of all your Pidgeys. Basically, what I've been doing is keeping an eye on my candy count.
Sure.
And I keep that many Pidgeys that I have the ability to evolve.
Right, because it's like 12, I think, for a Pidgey.
Mm-hmm. So I have 180 candies right now. So how many Pidgeys do I have on me? 15.
Right.
So when I get to 192, I'll keep a 16th, and so on and so forth.
Right.
Until I have... My plan is to go until I can't hold any more Pokemon, and then I'm just going to go ham.
Go ham.
But if you go to the Reddits, they have broken down how long it takes to go through the animation process of evolving somebody, and so how many you could actually get in 30 minutes. So you have an idea of, like, I now have this many Pokemon, so I should pop a lucky egg because I can't evolve any more than this in 30 minutes.
Right.
So, but you can look that up on Reddit if you want to.
Yeah. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about gyms.
First, let's talk about the gym system is messed up. It needs to be redone. And I hope that Niantic is, when they say they're going to do bi-weekly updates, I hope that means that they're going to be like a lot of games are nowadays, like Destiny, World of Warcraft, Paragon, all of these online games that continually evolve and change to make the game better. I hope that they have that mentality and they tweak the gym system, because it's super hard to prestige and it's super easy to take them down.
Crazy ridiculous. We should not have lost a level 7 gym in a couple hours.
No. And this is why. When you try to prestige something, you get one Pokemon to train at that gym, and you go through as many Pokemon as you can.
Right.
And you get 100 XP, basically, plus a little bit, for every one you take down. So, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But then it takes a long time. Because we're talking tens of thousands of rep points needed, and you're getting like 300, 400, 500 a pop. So
it does take a long time.
It takes a long time just to get it to where you can add one more Pokemon in the gym.
Where the idea should be the opposite. It should be hard to take it down and easy to build up, because you earned it. It's yours now.
Plus, that goes right into what I was getting ready to say. When you go to take an enemy's gym, you get to pick a full team of 6 Pokemon, just like in a video game, taking on a gym leader.
Right.
To attack all the gym's Pokemon. So, basically, unless you get it to a 6 or above, your team's gym, you are at a disadvantage from the get-go.
Right.
To anyone wanting to challenge your gym.
You're at a disadvantage just time being spent. Like you said, you think of all 6 of those Pokemon being used to whittle down all those points. And it's like one session for the enemy can do like 6 times the damage of what one session you building up can do.
Yep.
If I said that right. But
so it needs to be tweaked. Like you said, it should be an accomplishment to take down a gym. It should be this epic feeling, like it was like day 1 or 2 when the gyms were empty.
Right.
Or when you first took a gym from somebody. It's like, I took that gym.
Right. Not like, oh, I lost it again.
Yeah, I lost it again. Like, the turnover is ridiculous. So, it should be... taking down a gym should be the same as training at a gym. Or, when you put a Pokemon in a gym, it should get a significant defense boost.
Sure.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Because I like that you can come in and say, here's my 6 strongest, just like in the video game, I'm going to take down this gym leader. But usually, it took most, if not all, those Pokemon to take out that gym leader.
And sometimes you had to come back.
Sometimes you had to come back. I'm not strong enough yet. I'm going to have to go train a little while and come back. That's a normal thing in Pokemon. Not so much here. You got a level 7 gym. There was one dude who pulled up in a car, and we saw him park outside that gym when we were going home, and he started whittling it down.
Substantially.
One dude.
And based on our level of Pokemon, he's not having the over 2,000 level Pokemon that this level 30 guy has. You know, even if, you know, you and I are level 17, 18, our Pokemon are about 1,500. Mm-hmm. There's no way that his Pokemon are astronomically larger than that, right?
Right.
So it should not take such little time.
It should just be and it doesn't need to be a drastic change. It just needs to be a little bit easier to prestige, and it needs to be, I think, quite a bit harder to take it.
But while we're on that topic of prestiging, if you are working with your friends to prestige a gym, do not be the dope who drops a Pokemon who's under 800. And then someone else, and the other 2 Pokemon are like in the 4 digits. Because you don't seem to understand how Prestige in the gym works, because you have to... It basically gauges the accomplishment of defeating the Pokemon. So the idea is that you are defeating a very strong Pokemon, so you're given an award.
Mm-hmm.
If one of the 3 Pokemon is a low level, it's almost like it's not there. It's like...
Well, you'll still get, like... You get 100 XP for beating a Pokemon, but then you get, like, a little bit of bonus XP, I guess, based on the strength difference between your Pokemon. So, and then thinking about it in the long run, this is another reason why gyms are so easy to take, is because we're not prestiging our gym up and then putting in strong Pokemon. We're taking a gym, putting in maybe one strong Pokemon, and then somebody else puts in a mid-level or a weak Pokemon. And then just like that makes it harder for us to prestige it, it makes it that much easier for somebody else to take it.
Right.
Because even if they can't beat the top Pokemon, they can just keep whacking that little one until the prestige drops down.
Because Rachel and I, because I was up with her this weekend because she went back to school, we were walking around one of the campuses, one of the universities that she lives next to, and there was a big group of people who were working and they were coordinating their attacks, which is cool to see. But they took over this gym, and the first 2 they dropped was a 150 and like a 320, and the rest were like 1200 and like an 1100. And I was like, you don't understand how this works. You shouldn't have done that. You think that you're doing your friend a favor by getting like, oh, you'll have this, you can stake your claim to get the daily reward, but that's not how that works. You're making it easier.
It's better for the gym to have open slots.
Yeah.
And like 5, let's say it's a level 5 gym, it's better to have 2 1,500 Pokemon and 3 open slots in that gym than to have those 3 empty slots filled with weak Pokemon.
You're right. That's exactly right.
Because if you leave it that way, that's 3 levels of prestige someone would have to knock down just to get to the point where they can maybe knock out one of those Pokemon.
And they're only fighting one Pokemon at a time, so it's...
And they're fighting strong ones.
Right.
So, anyways. Help us, Team Mystic, prestige the gyms properly.
Know how to play the game. There is a right way. But yeah.
Man, there is something to say to put, like, let's say you take a gym, maybe I strategically put in a 900 or 1,000, knowing that it's not my strongest and that it's weaker than your strongest also.
Right.
We can utilize that to ensure that we have easy prestige. But at the same time, it's a balancing act because you don't want to put in something super low like we were talking about. You still want it to be formidable. But at the same time, you kind of want to hang on to some of your stronger guys so you can prestige. Because you want to make sure that you can beat all the Pokemon while you're training.
Right.
To maximize that rip.
True.
So balance it. Rip it up.
Yeah.
All right.
So that ends Pokestop.
Probably went a little bit longer than what we thought. So.
Yeah, most definitely. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Things usually do when we chit-chat.
That's true.
So which takes us to...
our topic of the show.
Our topic of the show today is...
Star Wars. Admiral Thrawn. Classic, epic, expanded universe character brought back into the canon.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, so it was announced just yesterday?
Yeah.
That, because they released, Disney released the new teaser trailer for Rebels Season 3. If you haven't watched it, go watch the teaser. It's awesome. The teaser only further solidifies my beliefs that Ezra Miller is Snoke. Our beliefs that Ezra Miller is Supreme Leader Snoke. If you want to hear all of our thoughts and
evidence,
very compelling evidence as to why we think that, check out our Snoke episode. It's episode 3? Episode 2.
It's episode 2.
Okay, so go check out our episode 2. But that teaser just fully, it's Snoke.
Yeah, and not to get away really quickly from Thrawn, some really cool things that were thrown into that trailer was we got a lot of Darth Maul.
Yep.
One of the teaser posters I saw was of Darth Maul, and it was captioned with "Maul holds the chips," so we know he's gonna have a strong force to be reckoned with in season 3. We also know that they said that season 3 is going to be very intertwined with A New Hope, which also brings to light the fact that Maul holds the chips and is a huge power player during A New Hope.
It adds a lot of awesome perspective to the background of what's going on with the Empire and like the dark side, because now we know not only has Maul survived up until A New Hope, but he is a significant thorn in the Empire's side.
Right.
And he's got his own plans.
All of which are explained in episode 2. Who is
CPs
Supreme?
In the second degree. Who is Supreme Leader Snoke?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, the biggest reveal from the trailer was the introduction of Grand Admiral Thrawn,
who they said in this season their goal is to make him as big of a bad as Darth Vader, which I think is very ambitious. But I don't know a whole lot about him, so I digress.
Grand Admiral Thrawn was first introduced into some of the first expanded universe novels back when the expanded universe was canon.
Mm-hmm.
It was all like at that point. I'm pretty sure Lucas searched out people. Timothy Zahn, I want you to continue this story. Timothy Zahn being the author. He introduces Thrawn in a trilogy that occurs 9 years after A New Hope. So that's 6 years past Endor?
Yeah.
Something like that. Grand Admiral Thrawn is the highest ranking person left in the Empire, and he alone is holding it together. And not only holding it together, but basically making a humongous pushback against the rebellion and nearly bringing the Empire back. Because you have to realize that killing the Emperor and destroying the second Death Star doesn't mean the Empire is gone.
Right.
So who takes the reins? Grand Admiral Thrawn. And he is a master tactician, brilliant military mind, basically undefeated in battle, and is kind of known for just being so far ahead as far as strategically, militarily thinking of his enemies that they don't even know how to deal with him. And so this man is who takes the reins of the Empire and basically almost takes back what little they lost after Endor before being defeated. He comes back again in a duology years later in the expanded universe timeline to try to make another final push with the Imperial Remnant. But a very beloved character, and not only because he is such an iconic bad, filling the shoes of other iconic bads.
Sure.
But it was one of the first experiences that people had of the expanded universe. And Timothy Zahn is an amazing author and just paints the picture perfectly. So, as you can imagine, fanboys everywhere lost their minds when he was revealed. So not only are they bringing him back into canon, so he's real, but they have also gone back to Timothy Zahn and said, we want you to write a new book simply called Thrawn to reintroduce him into the universe. So not only are we going to get a glimpse of him in Star Wars Rebels, but we're going to get a new novel by the original author who created him to bring him back into...
Do you think that would be hard to do? Do you think he would feel like, I've already told his story, but now it's like you have to retell his story and just mildly readapt it to earlier
and it'll be
timeline?
interesting. I don't think we know anything about the book yet. how cool would it be if it's just basically... Okay, so yes, as an author, it probably...
Like, would you feel almost like...
I told this story already.
Thanks for flattering me, but I'm a little
right.
miffed.
But what if he can... What if it's the same story, basically? He still takes the reins after the Empire's gone. And it's under his rule that the Empire survives and then later on becomes... Like, what if this is the story of how the First Order comes out of the Empire? And maybe Thrawn has a hand in it. Because we don't really know.
But we also thought that Maul had a hand in the First Order.
Well, yeah, but... Yeah, I'm not saying he's not going to have...
Just saying that maybe he's involved in some capacity.
Yeah. He starts morphing the Empire into something more efficient and more deadly, which is what the First Order is.
Something that excites me. I mean, I already admitted that I really don't know this character all that well because I didn't really read the Extended Universe novels, but something that excites me as a fan from the outside is, one, Disney can see that it is unwise to flush everything from the EU because there's just a lot of just really great characters that were made there. So I like to see that Disney's pulling from the EU into the new Star Wars canon, saying, the way that the EU panned out is not how Star Wars canon pans out, but we're more than willing to use the iconic pieces in a new way.
Yeah.
That's exciting. But also, what is exciting is seeing how Forrest Whitaker in Rogue One is a character from the Clone Wars show, and how they really are having this fluidity and transparency between the CG shows and the movies, and it all really is one thing. Like, we could see Thrawn in a future movie if he survives the show. So that's exciting. Like, it really... And it gives even more credence to our theories on the Snoke episode, where we talked about, at that time period, we were theorizing, like, yeah, Disney is taking it seriously. It is all one thing. But we now have substantial proof that it is all one thing. It's not just like an offshoot where it's like, yeah, it's quote unquote canon, like a prequel comic to like a movie that comes out.
Right.
Like, it's totally what came before, but it's not really.
That's actually a really good point, because we do bring up that Disney said, this was back then, Disney said that everything was canon, blah blah blah, and I was playing off that and saying there is a reason for this show.
Right.
It's not just here for no reason. And now we're getting characters from other shows and other mediums becoming mainstream canon in the movieverse and all throughout. It's all intertwining, and it just solidifies the fact that Rebels has a purpose, and it's to give you the backstory of Supreme Leader Snoke.
Exactly right.
What's really cool too is the trailer also has that big, like, he's like a big animal beast dude who's talking, and he's like, I'm not a Jedi or a Sith, I'm in between. That's also an idea from the expanded universe, where Vigrir, who was a Jedi of the Old Republic, goes on a exploratory mission outside of the galaxy and is presumed dead, but then comes back with the Yuzong Vong, who come from another galaxy to invade the Star Wars galaxy, and in her time away learned that, in her opinion, and to great success as far as power goes, that there really is no light or dark. It's the person who's light or dark. So if you can transcend the meaningless battle between light and dark and become truly one with the Force, who is just a force of nature, basically, not good or bad, you could become way more powerful. And that's actually, Jason Solo becomes like ridiculously strong.
Right.
Starting to think that way. So... But they introduce a character who has similar views that's teased for season 3 in Rebels. So like I said in the episode for Snoke, they are, and they continue to and will borrow from the EU.
It's very exciting.
So if anybody's still butthurt about it, just quit.
Just quit. Shut down the petition for more stories in the Legends universe, because clearly the Legends universe in time will be molded into new Star Wars canon.
And most likely in a better way, because everything we've seen so far has been pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
So, oh, you know what'd be awesome?
We
were just talking the other day. Oh, maybe it was Abby. Asked if they're gonna do a 10, 11, 12. And I was like, I'm sure they will. There's no point to stop. But I don't know what they would do. What if that's when they introduce the Yuzong Vong and the entire trilogy is based on the Yuzong Vong invasion? That'd be pretty cool. Because you've now set up a whole new... You could continue it, same kind of theme and stuff, but with the new characters.
Right. Have them take the reins.
Mm-hmm.
Because although they talked about how The Force Awakens is all about passing the reins, from what we've seen, what I can assume will be of the next episode, so episode 9 after episode 8, this whole trilogy is passing the reins. Because we're gonna have Luke for the whole thing, and as long as Luke is involved, I really don't care about everyone else.
Yeah, except Rey.
Yeah. So, yeah, the trilogy after this could be one where Luke's not even involved, and it's just all new.
Or he just takes a complete back seat. Because a lot of those 20 books I got over there, the Yuzong Vong Invasion, it's all about Jason, Jaina, Anakin. I mean, there's some Han Solo, Chewbacca adventures. And I mean, Luke is involved, but it's like there are so many other characters that it's not just all about Luke. So he could definitely take a back seat and still be involved in the next trilogy.
Yeah.
But that was the big topic this week was everybody hold on to your butts because it's all free game. Thrawn's canon again. And Star Wars continues to grow in epic scale.
It's pretty great. What a time to be alive.
But I think that's all I got on it. I mean, that's all I got on it. Cool. Thrawn is an awesome character. I cannot wait to see him in Rebels, and I cannot wait to read this book.
And
maybe this will actually be like, maybe this will be how he became the Grand Admiral. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that story, I don't think has been told. At least I haven't seen or read it. So maybe instead of maybe that's how you entice an author to come back. Okay, you told this story, so instead of actually retelling that moment in his life, why don't you tell me the story about how he became Grand Admiral Thrawn?
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. That seems to be a theme too, because we've got that Tarkin book where it was like how he became the most powerful man besides the Emperor.
Right. We also have, just briefly, we had talked about in that Snoke episode, Rebels is a show like the Clone Wars where you have to let it marinate because it has, they have to build their assets to tell great stories. So like the first 2 seasons are only going to be so-so because they can only do so much. And you really can tell episode 3, like we said, give it 2 seasons. Episode 3 is leagues above the other 2.
Yep. Same as Clone Wars.
If
you jumped on Clone Wars before season 3 and stopped, go back. Don't even watch season 1 and 2 of Clone Wars.
I would say start season 3, episode 2.
They were still figuring out what that show was going to be at that point. Because season 1 is so kiddie.
Yeah.
Like all the little battle droids like joking and saying stupid stuff, but you still have that here and there sprinkled very lightly.
Right.
Throughout the rest of the seasons. But man, it was heavy-handed in those first 2 seasons. And I actually quit watching it. The only reason I started watching it again was because it was on the Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'd heard about the Darth Maul stuff, and I wanted to just see what they did with it.
Yeah. I would say season 3, episode 2, because the first one is all about a specific clone regiment, and it's just kind of boring. honestly. So season 2 follows the Jedi and stuff, and that's where it really kind of takes off.
I gotcha.
So, but yeah, there we go.
That's it.
We shut it down?
Yeah, shut it down.
Alright, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes, thank you for joining us again on an episode of CP the Second Degree Podcast. Please be sure to like us on Facebook. Feel free to email us at cp2degree@gmail.com for type of ideas. Just to know things like off your chest. If you're our fans, we'd like to know how you are. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. I am Corbin Presson, Presson. Be sure to follow Clayton
at Clayton Presson, Presson.
Despite what your word devices and phones might say, it is not T. If you want to follow our collaborative mind on Twitter, it is at CP2degree. Please be sure to follow on Podbean or subscribe on iTunes. We would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you with a review and let us know what you think of us. And make sure to jump over to YouTube where you can subscribe and share. As always, for everything in the Nerdosphere, keep it right here at CP2degree.
We'll see you
Next time. Bye-bye.